Welcome to the Mad For It podcast. This is the first one, a podcast about the Road to Wembley 2025. I'm Josh, this is Adam, and this is Tom. We're going to be talking about everything Oasis, greatest hits, and the road to Wembley. What's going to happen? Are they going to even play? Or
Doubt it.
are we going to die? Are they going to die? Who knows?
Maybe both.
Maybe both. So yeah, this is our first punt at a podcast. So hopefully, it looks pretty pro so far. So we can get this going.
Impressed. That light looks good.
Well, yeah, we might as well start with where we first heard Oasis. Your first memory of Oasis.
Yeah.
Like basically, you're from Southsea,
Yeah.
Portsmouth Way.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
from
Hartlepool.
Hartlepool. I'm from Manchester, from Haywood,
well, there we are.
Heaton Park,
True.
where some of the best Oasis
True
gigs
blue.
have ever been played. So yeah. So
Yeah,
what about
first
you,
time.
Tom? We'll start with you.
First time, like everyone, I imagine around here, is back of the car, dad's car, radio, Ocean FM. Shout out to Ocean FM. Just What's the Story, Morning Glory on repeat on the CD, and just burning those songs into my brain when Britpop came up. Because I'm like 3 or 4 or 5 years older than you lot, so I was like 7 or 8 when this happened. So I was becoming conscious of like what's going on in the world, and yeah, like Britpop was a thing. I was like, oh, that's a thing, okay, and yeah, there we are.
Were you actually conscious at that age that of Britpop? Because I don't
Yeah,
think I
because
was.
do you know why? Because of Spice Girls.
They were fucking Britpop. What are you
But
talking
they
about?
it was Rule Britannia, wasn't it? It was like big English. Everything was good
Yeah.
for once,
Like
for a while.
that album could have been out for years and years for all I know when I was younger. It was just like a always on and like no concert. Like that's my same memory as being in the back in a car seat and Don't Look Back in Anger's on. I remember this exact pub in Cheetah Mill, like driving past it and a memory of that playing. It's just constantly on. Was just for whatever year was that 96?
Yeah,
Was
yeah.
always on Key 103, the local radio station from where I'm from. But yeah, just always on. It's like that song is like cemented as the main nostalgia. I remember an exact moment where I was, an age, and it's like, yeah, you can't get any better than that. Maybe that's why I'm excited.
I think, like, firstly, shout out to TFM, today's favourite music, which was our station. But yeah, no, I think it's just like they were always there. Like, I don't remember that, like, first time. There's no, like, revelation moment for me. They were just, like, it was always there. And, like, I remember, like, getting more and more into them. But there was no, like, first time I heard the Beatles, there was never that moment. Because as long as I can remember, they were
Right.
about. They were in
Yeah,
shops,
yeah.
they're in the car, they're on the radio. Like, I don't have that, like, first time moment.
Yeah. And I definitely knew Oasis before I knew the Beatles. It was like that kind of thing. Like, it's like Princess Diana and Oasis were the
Big
two
ones.
constants in my life.
Big one.
In
Did I
two,
tell you my Princess Diana story?
yeah, go on.
I thought I killed Princess Diana when I was a kid
How?
because I was at a sleepover and I said, "What have the royals ever done for us?" And then I woke up and Princess Diana was dead.
Oh mate.
And so for about 5 years, I was convinced that I killed Princess Diana with my mind.
I used to think that my mum was Princess Diana. I thought they looked the exact same. They look nothing alike.
Not far wrong
Like
there, mate.
nothing
Your
alike.
mum is a sort. There we are.
Shit, fucking hell.
This is
Royal.
the Princess Diana podcast
Yeah.
you're
But yeah.
listening to.
Well, so it was Cool Britannia, Princess Diana, Oasis.
But did you have that moment of, like, not that there was an HMV in Hartlepool, but did you have that moment of going in and, like, buying the first single on CD or cassette or first album?
No,
No.
I think the first single I ever had was the Bob the Builder one. Like, I never had like a single. Like that was the first one. I'm pretty sure I was too old to have it even then. I got that and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 one Christmas and a
Nice.
jukebox shaped CD player.
Well, my first Oasis memory is asking for Heathen Chemistry for
Oh, yeah.
Christmas, which must have been 2002. And so obviously by that point,
That's your first Christmas memory.
that's my first Oasis
Oh right, okay.
memory. I presume I had Christmas before that.
Yeah.
But
2002 Heathen Chemistry.
It was tough up north, maybe.
no, but I remember, like, asking for that one. So I was already, like, into them, and, like, probably like you, we're like the download music era. But, like, I've had that. I've had, like, whatever 20 CDs in my life, and that was one of them. I remember asking for that and getting it for Christmas and being
Nice.
and loving it. Even though, as we'll get onto, it's probably one of their weaker albums. But, like, having that, like, that was where I can pinpoint. I was like, yeah, I really bloody loved them at that moment in time.
Yeah. Like, what about you? When was the like time that, apart from Oasis being on, when was the time you were like, right, I'm into Oasis independently of it just being played to you?
I don't know if I was. I think it was just everywhere. So you just accepted it. It was like the Beatles. You just grew up. You were born, and the Beatles were already there, and you were born, and Oasis were kind of already there.
Yeah.
And you just like I don't remember the first time, but I remember like when the album had a lot of buzz. But yeah, it was just like, yep, here we are. The Beatles are back. We need, like, this is the Beatles for this generation. and that's what it is, and we just enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah, like mine was. I went next door. My mate was playing. It must have been in secondary school, so I knew it. Like Oasis was always there, but I was never into them. We just listened to that album on repeat while I sat and watched him play Championship Manager.
Did you ever feel like when you were in Manchester that was like the Beatles of Liverpool, like the Manchester
No.
of Oasis, and you were like part of that?
No, like I didn't realize that until I left Manchester, and then I was at uni, and some Scottish guys were just giving it me about it. They're like, "Oh, you're mad for it." And I never heard the term "mad for it."
We are
Like,
mad for it. by the way.
Yeah.
We are mad for it.
Like I'd never heard the term until I was like 18 years old. So I don't know if it's like regionally, this really specific. And I wasn't quite a turned on kid anyway, so it was just like. But yeah, like, are you mad for it? Do you love Oasis? And I was like, I like Oasis. It's like learning that the stereotype is that all Northerners or Pete Manx like Oasis and the Happy Mondays. But yeah, like, so yeah, that's it. So we're just
Three boys mad for
three
it.
boys who listened to Oasis when we were younger.
And now it's coming back around,
Yeah.
and we can enjoy it in a way that we hope to recapture what was going on when we were too young to understand.
But I
what
think
was
that's
going on.
the interesting thing about it is, like, we're certainly not younguns, but it has brought it back into focus for
Yeah.
our generation, people younger than us, people a lot younger than us,
People older than us
who
that wanna
like,
do it
and
again.
people who are older who also
Yeah.
want to like relive it, which is why I think it's like it's such a cultural moment as well as just oh, here's a gig, here's some old band that's reforming. It feels bigger than that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking, because obviously we were going to gigs from like how old was I, like 14 or whatever, in 2001 or whatever, and they were still around for 8 years, and by that point they'd lost so much steam that I could have seen Oasis every summer for 5 years, but it was like, nah, bollocks to that. Like, and now it's come back. It's like it's kind of regained that glory again.
Well, they played Sunderland Stadium of Light in 2009 on their
Yeah,
like
that would
final
have been the
tour,
end,
but like
yeah.
by that point it was just like,
Who gives
I
a
don't
shit?
know. It wasn't something that really registered for me to like go and see. Where I guess it's that intervening time, having a lot of like looking back at it in anger has really changed it. I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were you when you heard that Oasis had split up?
Mhm. Not
Do
in
you
France.
remember?
It's one of those where I'm like, I obviously I know the story of them splitting up, but I don't remember at the time, which again is like, it obviously was news, but
2009.
compared to something like the Spice Girls splitting up, like I remember
Huge.
that happening, or like
Huge.
Michael Jackson dying, like those,
Oh,
like
yeah.
those would actually
Or
do.
Princess
Maybe we
Diana
should do a
died.
fucking podcast about them if you know more about.
I think by that point it was like good, like they kind of just been doing their thing, putting out albums, and it was like, well, this has kind of come to its natural conclusion. Like they got fed up with each other, no one's listening to them anymore. Like indie was in its full kick. It took all that steam from like the first two albums, and then you got Arctic Monkeys and Franz Ferdinand and whatever, and they were pushing this new thing, and it was like, yeah, give the new guys a like.
They've been
a good run.
overtaken.
Yeah,
by the end.
yeah.
I think.
So it just kind of made sense that they kind of drop off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we are.
Because I was at Leeds Festival. I don't know if it's the Thursday or the Friday, and they announced that Oasis had split up. But it was before smartphones at 2009. So I don't know if because you get newspapers on site. I don't know if people saw it and that's how the news got around, is that people saw like the front of the Sun or whatever
Yeah,
was
I
being
wonder if
sold
like
there.
my dad texted me or something, just to be
Yeah,
like, oh,
it was like massive.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everybody was like gutted. Like,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
my
yeah.
God, Oasis.
But
So,
then
like,
again, no one wanted to see them, so
Yeah.
it was like you didn't lose anything.
Well, at the end of the day, that when they're splitting up, they're like piddling around playing V Festival. Do you know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
they're not selling out Wembley by that
No,
stage.
they're just on the bill
well,
somewhere. and doing
that's
their
it. I
thing.
checked it up like before we were doing this. I checked like what they were doing. They played Wembley. They were playing whatever the Man City Stadium's called. Like they were doing multiple nights at these places. So they always had that traction. They're always getting like pulling big crowds. But I think it's just they have the widest die-hard fan group of any band. Like Taylor
Yeah.
Swift, like you can just get Phil. Anywhere they played, they could just, if they were still together throughout, they'd probably still be playing
Yeah,
stadiums every
yeah,
summer.
absolutely.
Like,
But the vibe would just be completely different. Like them going away was like the best thing they could have done
Yeah.
for their own band.
they were
'cause,
like going through the motions. Like, it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, we're just doing this. And kind of getting a bit complacent. And
yeah.
it's like,
I mean, them staying away, and then every year it's like Oasis Whispers, and
yeah.
and then when Liam played, what was it? Definitely Maybe or whatever, Back to Front
Well,
last
yeah,
year
like,
or this
it was
year.
this year, yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
at
so it was
Reading.
like, oh, he's got to be doing it, and like the hype was definitely building, and obviously they've probably been planning this for a decade or whatever. But yeah,
But do you think they have? Because why would you do that to her if this was planned a year or two in
I think it's
advance.
like
Like,
seeing if
why
you
would
can
he do
still
two of
sing
them
it.
as just him doing all the songs he's going to do next year?
Yeah.
It has to have come together more recently than that, I would think.
But if they use that band for this tour, then they've learnt the songs, they've warmed the songs up. You can fuck up the songs
Yeah.
as Liam, and you'll be forgiven. But
I-
if Oasis play the wrong chord, it's like,
I
you
think
suck. You know?
was it so Bonehead's supposed to be coming back for it,
Mm-hmm.
and then Gem Archer is in Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, and he was in
Right.
Oasis before they split, so he'll be back. I don't know if the drummer's the same drummer.
Does that matter on the night when we go to Wembley?
Yeah. Oh my god,
Are
it's
you going to feel like
Bonehead.
you're seeing half a band if it's just them two and?
Yeah, just random new people
they're
that
not
we
playing
don't know.
Wembley because Bonehead's back.
Well, exactly.
It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. The
They're-
Bonehead.
yeah,
night.
so it's like it just has to be those two. Like it could just
Yeah.
be called Noel and Liam
Well,
play
that-
Oasis.
That was what the press photos were, wasn't it? It wasn't 5 lads; it was the
No.
2 lads. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I think Noel's going to probably have more of a say in the matter over everything that happens with this reunion than Liam will. Liam's just going to roll with it. And then, yeah, Noel's going to get a pick of who's playing in a band. So I imagine it's going to be
who we can get for
the
cheap.
last lineup. It's not going to be fucking Guigsy and... Well,
Steve,
But I
Tony
think you're
McCarroll.
right.
Yeah.
That all the people I think that will play they were the last Oasis formation, and then they played with BDI, Liam, High
Yeah,
Flying
they've
Bird
kind of
since.
warmed
So
up. And then
it's going to be a combination of them, right? Because they've
Yeah.
been playing these songs
Yeah, it
still
would-
in the last 15 years.
it would be so weird if they got Guigsy back and this kind of stuff, and they just pulled him out. And, I haven't played bass for 25 years.
Sacked
Like,
him again.
yeah, that's it. Just like, oh, well, you know, we'll see. We'll see.
yeah, because I don't actually know why he quit and Bonehead quit. I'm imagining it's because Liam and Noel were too unbearable to be in the band with them because
Absolutely,
they quit
yeah,
in was it 99 or something?
Yeah, but even then, like, you're what, 4 albums in? I bet all the diehards are just like seething at the fact we don't know anything.
No, mate. Yeah, that's it. Well, is it
But-
Noel's daughter's got our back? She wants anyone to go,
Oh, there we go then.
so we can go,
Excellent.
even though we don't know anything. But that's it. We're going to learn.
It's a
through
learning
this. It's
process.
A learning
The whole
experience.
point is it's the road to Wembley.
It's the
We're
road to
Come to
learning
me
on
at
the road to
Wembley and ask me any question
It's
about
unusual.
Oasis. Like
Ask me any question about heathen chemistry.
There we go.
exactly.
That's all I
He
know.
already knows. So it's
Yeah.
like counting down the days till we do the Heathen Chemistry album.
I think we need to talk about the road to Wembley.
We need to talk
Yeah.
about Wembley. That's
All right,
enough
let's
of
get
that.
serious.
Wembley. How? Why?
Wembley.
What?
Where?
Wembley.
Where?
We know that
Where?
one. We know
we
it's
got
at
that
Wembley
one. Right.
Stadium.
Sorry, yeah, right.
We know
yeah.
it's at Wembley
That's me.
Stadium, London.
All right, and we know when.
Well,
Like-
bloody loads of dates.
Well, when are we going? It's on a Wednesday.
We're going on a
Wednesday.
Wednesday, the 30th, is it?
30th of
September?
July.
That was actually my Ticketmaster
30th of
plan.
July? Yeah, it will be
It's not
July. Yeah, it
September.
will be July. Yeah.
Was to get Wednesday because no one was going to go for a Wednesday, and it worked.
And
It's such
almost
like
a
stupid.
million
Yeah,
views
Yeah,
for
yeah, it's like
All of the UK.
450,000 people were all doing the same idea, but we did it.
We did it.
So we're Road to Wembley. Here we go.
It was a bumpy road to Wembley.
It was. What would be good to know is where in the running that is, because I feel they're going to break up about the 6th or 8th gig, and I reckon we're about 8 or 9, aren't we?
Cardiff before London,
It's
right?
2
Are they doing
Cardiff,
Manchester
and then
or
it's like what,
Manchester?
4 Heaton Park, 5, 6 Heaton
Yeah,
Park.
it's Heaton Park and then Wembley.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. So I don't think we're gonna see much, to be honest.
I think that they got to stick through it. It'll cost them so much money to like.
Well, if
bail.
Noel wants to get some of his money back after the divorce, then yeah, if he
Yeah, but
wants to fill his
he'll be
piggy bank
there.
back
It's
up.
going to be Oasis plus Adam Lambert.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's what's going to happen. That's what we paid to see.
yeah.
That'd be so
Oh,
good.
mate, that'd be the
who,
one.
who would they get out as a replacement? Like,
Lambert or Rick Astley.
No, you do
It
a
has to
rolling,
be- it
you
has
do
to
a
be one of
rolling
them.
thing. You get Ian Brown, and you get whoever else like on the scene, Richard Ashcroft, and you just
Dickie Ashcroft.
Dickie Ashcroft.
But
You
you think
just
Dickie
roll 'em up.
Ashcroft's going to go up there and sing Oasis songs?
I
Nah,
think he's
not
got the
ego on
bollocks
that
to.
lad.
Yeah, he'd be wrong to, but I think he's got the guts to
It'll
do
be
it.
like the Blossoms singer.
There we go.
I don't even know what a Blossom song is.
It'll
No.
it'll
Good luck
just
to him.
be Oasis, but just the ones Noel's hang on. That's it. That's the entire gig. You're not getting any others.
Yeah, what's that? Yeah, well, that's a pretty good role.
Yeah, important to
yeah.
be an idol.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
Little
don't
by
look back in
little.
anger, as we say. He could just
Nothing off
do
the first album.
the backing vocals on like Acquiescence or whatever. We
Yeah.
believe. Just the whole rest of the song silent until
Oh,
that
that'd be
bit.
so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
we'll,
everyone-
we'll sing
everyone
it.
will sing it. We'll fill it.
We're
Yeah, we
Liam.
are Liam.
Yeah. Well.
Hashtag we are Liam.
Well, they did that back in the day. He couldn't sing.
Yeah,
Just one microphone.
yeah.
pointing
What's
at the
this?
stand,
Do you reckon they'll
pointing at the
tune it
stand.
down like 2 steps? just so everyone can sing in the right key. And
Everybody will sing in the right key. Anyway.
and we'll
It's
be
not
like-
going to be a single person singing. They're all going to be like, "Say maybe." Like everyone's going to do it. You can't control it.
Yeah, you can't. It's gonna be chaos. Do you think we're gonna hear anything?
No,
at
it's going
all?
to be like, let's go.
It's
We went and saw the Killers once, and as soon as they played Mr. Brightside, couldn't hear a single thing.
Yeah.
They were like, "This is my song." Like,
Right.
this
Everyone
was
in
written for me,
England.
like,
Didn't we keep that in the charts for like 15 years or
it's
something?
probably
We did
still
something
in the
like,
charts.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, like it stayed in the top 100 for like all this time.
Have they taken the shine off the reunion with their ticket shenanigans?
Oh,
yeah.
he's asking the
I
big
mean,
questions now.
when we had booked the tickets, it definitely was that was the case. It was like, it's crazy. It's like Ticketmaster basically is the main culprit for it, but the band do have a say, and if they want to do the
Yeah, but the band say they don't know.
yeah, of course
say we
of course
didn't
they're
know.
going to say
Well,
they didn't know.
I
Of
spoke
course
to
they say they
spoke
don't
to a
know.
matey at work, and he seems to think that it is to do with like that Oasis did sign on to that. There's some whole podcast about this. It's like ticketflation, because you first told me about this before I bought Smashing Pumpkins tickets, and I was like, yeah, what's all that about? You were like, well, if people go on and there's more people, they rise the price up. And I was like, I've never heard of that before.
Yeah.
And then I think Pumpkins were like 80, 90 quid a ticket. I was like, oh, that's steep enough. And then when I got on, it was like 140, and I was like, well, fuck it, I want to see him. It was that kind of fuck it money. And then it came to this, and I was like, well, how bad can this be? Because we already knew it was going to be 151. And then when I got onto the thing, it was like, oh no, they're just any price.
Do you think them selling tickets for 365 quid is like normalized that the other tickets were 151?
Yeah, they-
I
And
think
I literally saw Foo Fighters this year for like 80 quid. That's twice that.
before the baby or after the baby.
Nicest man in rock. But like that, that sort of level of band who are like a super international, super band. That's what they charge this year. Okay, it's another year of inflation and whatever.
Yeah.
But 151 quid is blooming dear to begin with.
Yes.
But by charging 350 quid for some people, is that like normalizing like, 151 quid's the going rate now to be back pitch standing as well? It's all as one, right?
But there won't be any other band that could get. That's why everyone's going in on this ticket price, and that's why they're getting investigated, because no other band could get this many people this excited.
But what's the most you would pay to see any band? I'm going to ask you first, Tom, because I think that's a good.
Well, I was tested, but the thing is, right?
You failed the test.
It's because it's like the only band. It's even like the Smiths come back, Stone Roses came back, and I missed that, but that was my fault. But like, there's only so many bands that can come back, and with everyone intact, like the Jam could get back together, Sonic Youth could get back together, Tom Waits could come back. Like, these people need to do these things, and I would pay extortionate money to see them, because it's like that gap's been there. But I think what we want from this is like England and everything in the world with it's so dire that we're like, oh, we can go back to Nebworth 96 and we can like just be there for the music, and that vibe and that like societal wish to just like have fun and not worry about things is worth that money.
Basically,
I think
you're
that's
saying you overpaid.
I overpaid.
Yeah, make Britain great again. That's the mentality we want.
Spend our way out of our
Make
cultural
America
malaise.
Great Britain again.
Yeah. I think, 150 quid is...
It's dear, but we don't even think about that as
It's the
dear now,
comfortable
right?
level that I would pay for it. Like the max I wanted to pay was
150 quid is a load
It's
of money,
insane.
man.
It is
That's
a lot of
like
money.
crazy. That's like, look, Taylor Swift is not our sort of music, but like she is a global superstar.
Mhm.
That's way more than Taylor Swift is charging for like
Yeah.
ordinary
I don't know,
tickets.
because I know people that pay like $450 for that.
Yeah, but that's
like,
when
get
they're
up
in like
there.
the premium. They've fallen for the same trick that the
Yeah, well, yeah, essentially.
the
But I mean,
Ticketmaster
there's two parts of the world. There's Taylor Swift and there's Oasis, and we're
Yeah.
all willing to pay an arm and a leg just to be part of it.
Yeah, like you'd see on Ticketmaster, like our friend Dave was on till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. They didn't kick him out saying it was sold out.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
we kept
still
another thing on as
availability.
well.
Like
Yeah.
we didn't get tickets till 2.5 hours after the sale started.
Yeah.
Like it was so.
is that the problem? Or it's like a public relations disaster.
Well,
People
again,
are queuing in a queue where they're literally, if you're like 250,000 in the queue and you can buy 4 tickets, you literally don't have any chance of getting tickets. So
Yes.
why let them join the queue? Because you're giving people hope, which is never ever going to happen.
But again, that's like a whole server issue and a whole thing. Like, why do things crash? Because people get into the front after like hours and hours, and then it was saying they were a bot and taking them back, and there was all these horror stories. And there's like someone's cat like closed the thing and everything. So
Yeah.
we were all trying to do the same thing.
Cat closed
Yeah, did you
it,
see that
like,
video? Did you see that thing
They
with
had to factor that in case it was
Yeah.
cat.
Well, then you got to go back to the queue, and then you're 800,000th in the queue for a space that can hold 90,000 people. Everyone's buying 4 tickets at once. So what's the math? Like in like an hour and a half, that's going to be sold out,
Mate,
right?
4 tickets is bullshit.
Who's
They
buying
should've done
one
6
ticket to that
tickets,
gig?
One ticket.
But you can only
You have to go on your
Yeah.
own.
Oh, mate, that would be sick, though. Because you
That
make
would be.
friends with everyone
Well, yeah,
around
literally,
you.
there'd
It's
be
like
90,000
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
loners at
Yeah,
the gig.
yeah.
all
Wow.
linked arms singing Stand By Me.
Shirtless.
So the tickets were fucked. Everybody's saying that.
Should we do our story?
We got tickets, which is
We
good.
did. Should we do our story on the tickets?
Yeah, I think we should.
we
yeah.
do the
I think
pre-sale
I think
story?
you should lead it, Tom.
No, I think you should because you're. I'll get embarrassed in my own time. What about the pre-sale story? Because I got a little.
I had a
insight into-
pre-sale link, but got in a queue. Nothing happened. Basically, it was a waste of time, and I don't know how many tickets were in the pre-sale. Was it
But
10%? Was it 50%?
I think that was to judge how many people were invested, right?
I think
That
so.
can't. They must
No, but
have
it was
known,
like- it was
They
like-
must have known.
it was
It's-
like
it's not like it's a
14
band
million
like moving up to arenas from like academies. It's like they knew every single gig would sell out in a heartbeat, which goes back to the point like should they have just done a ballot? Which I look, we all got tickets, which we're very fortunate to get tickets, but like would that have just been fairer? But obviously then you wouldn't have got the hype and you would have got all the news coverage, you would have had like 2 weeks of like Oasis is the biggest game in town again. Like I understand why they do just did that queue for tickets thing. But would that have been fairer? Like again, you're making people think they can get tickets, and they literally had no chance of getting them.
They should have just got like HMV where you enter £5 to be in the line, and they would have literally saved the chain of HMV with the amount of people who
Yeah,
showed up.
they
It's
would,
the only
yeah.
way you can get
Bring-
tickets.
hashtag
Everyone
bring
pays
back
£5.
HMV.
It's like Leeds Festival 2008.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
queue
That's
up
what I
your,
did.
your paper
I
ticket.
queued in was it Portsmouth Town Street, High Street, until they closed at 6 o'clock, and then I went in for Reading 08 tickets or something. It was just like, there we
Great,
go.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
call
was
the
a great
hotline.
year. It was a great year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Called Ticket Line. That was the problem in that they had a pre-sale. I don't know anyone who got tickets in the pre-sale, but again, like we don't know. It might have been like 5% of tickets. Like we don't actually know.
Yes.
It might have been 50 to try and like spread the weight, but
Yeah.
the Saturday morning was a disaster zone
But-
basically. Even as people who all got tickets on Saturday morning / early afternoon, it was a complete
Yeah.
disaster.
With the way the news reported it, not a single person in Britain got a ticket for
Yes.
Oasis.
Yeah, I didn't see
and I hear
anyone
them
on
complaining it, and I'm like, I'm fucking going.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
fuck
like-
you guys.
yeah.
So it's unfair. No, it's only unfair because you didn't get a
You
fucking
didn't get a
ticket.
ticket,
Like,
yeah.
that's not our fault that
Yeah.
you were.
You got your milk glass and it was warm.
Yeah,
There we are.
exactly.
That's
Like, oh, I didn't get one. Tough tits. You're not seeing Oasis. Like, watch it online. Watch it through
Yeah,
my
they're
phone.
gonna break
It's going to
up
be
anyway.
up
They'll
for
be
the
broken up
whole
by
90
Christmas.
minutes of it. I'm not going to sing. I'm going to point my phone at it, not know any word, and there's nothing you could do about it. I paid
Yeah.
my money. I'm going.
Yeah. Well, that was my my thing. So should we do our story of how we did it then?
But
So
I think we moved to
pre-sale.
Saturday morning, Tom, where you
So this is where-
you fatally
this
take
is where
control
you-
of the situation.
where like I said to Josh a minute ago, for 20 minutes, I was king of the world. I was the big brother of everyone. I was the absolute king of everything. So I made an accidental thing where I tried to get onto the pre-sale on Thursday,
Hmm.
and I used the laptop that I then closed on Thursday on that page. When I opened it on Saturday and refreshed, it took me to 8,000 in the queue, which I heard someone at work also did the same thing. They tried to do that, opened it, 9,000 in the queue. So I was like, oh shit. But I also had C tickets open. I also had gigs on tour open. It was a whole thing. And I waited and I waited and I waited, and I was taking pictures of it as the number went down. I was trying to keep up with you guys because I was going to get 4 tickets, for us lot. And then I've got it on video, actually. We should pipe it in, right? It'd be well funny. Got through and then got to the page, and it was like standing 350, but it didn't just say standing. It said like standing something something, and I was like, wait, is that, because obviously you're just completely panicking. I was like, is that the standing? Is that like, because I don't want to get standing behind the chairs or standing behind the stage or whatever.
Standing behind the bar.
Well, that's it,
Standing
yeah.
outside the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. So then it was just like mad panic, and then when you see it's like you click pay, and it's like, yeah, £1,450, please. I was like, yeah, okay, this is gonna be worth it. This better be fucking worth it. So I clicked it, told the guys, filmed it. We all sang, we all jumped for joy, we all did this. Josh gave me his money. This one went quiet for about 2 hours, and I was like, all right, where's this money coming in then, mate? And then he comes back with, oh yeah, I got tickets for like 150 and everything's fine. And
I was
so
just
I wasn't-
refreshing
Yeah.
bloody C tickets.
Yeah.
Like, which Gigs and Tours, by the way, has anyone ever heard of this
No.
website before?
Yes,
Like,
but
where
never-
has that come
it
from?
didn't even load.
And
not
why
for
do they have?
anyone.
But it's just
tickets?
see tickets, isn't it, under a different name? Because if you look at it, it's the same like
Oh, it's the
layout.
same
Yeah.
people. But like literally, this happened. A month's salary has disappeared on Oasis tickets, and then like I was just like keep trying because I know from like trying to get tickets in the past, like especially like Glastonbury, they say it's sold out. You keep trying. There's always tickets. People
Yeah,
like their
yeah.
internet connection fails. It falls out the basket. They realize how much it is, all the fees.
Yeah.
They drop out. There's always tickets left, even when they don't have any. Oh, it's officially sold out. Or they say they don't have any left. So I was like, right, keep refreshing, and then next thing, see tickets. Hasn't loaded all day. Loads up. It's like it's there. So jobs are good. And sweep in, get the tickets. £151.
I
Which, by
give
the way,
Josh
let
his
me
money
say,
back.
is still extortionate for tickets.
Yes,
by the way,
it is. Yeah.
£151.25.
But I
whatever
was
it
really surprised when I first saw that on that page. I was like, oh, I just assumed it would be because they could take the piss. They knew the value of coming back to society, right? They knew what they were up against. They knew anyone would pay anything to just feel this way again and
But
just.
isn't that the question though? Like, why didn't they just say we've got 50% of the tickets, £151, 25% of the tickets are £350, and 25% of the tickets are £500?
Well, you could sit and
just
buy a
say that-
T-shirt
say-
for
say
400
that up-
quid.
Yeah, say that up front, and then you go right. Well, I'm willing to pay 150. I'm willing to pay 350. I'm not willing to pay 500, and then everyone knows where they're at when they come into the sale.
But this is Noel Gallagher. This isn't a human being. This is like
But
someone
it's not.
who's.
But if it's
who's
not Noel Gallagher,
actively,
apparently
like-
it's the management and the.
Oh, you can
the
blame
elves
it
at
on anyone you
Ticketmaster.
want. You can blame it, can't you? It's just them, though, isn't it? Like.
Yeah.
And he's always been completely like open and unshameless about money, and that's like, yeah, all right, fine. Like, I will pay that money to see him. Like, you haven't
Yeah.
got me on. I'm not going to get to that 8,000 in the queue, get through, and be like, oh no, you're all right, mate. I'm going to be like,
I
fucking
would've.
yes, give me the ticket. Like,
Did you feel pressurized to buy them?
No, I was excited to buy them.
Because that's like the inquiry now and like the government getting involved and stuff. Is
Oh,
like,
if they're going
was
to
it
give me my
pressure
money back, I
selling?
was pressured. Yeah,
You get through and you're like, oh, we said it was 150, it's now 350,
yeah.
and you've got 8 minutes to decide and check out and put all your card details in. Like,
Oh, and I messed my card details up 3 times on film. Like we were shooting it or whatever from the phone, and I was like, oh, it's going to drop out of the basket. I'm going to be so embarrassed. But then when you guys didn't get tickets, I was kind of like, oh, okay, I did it. Like it felt really good.
Yeah.
But again, that was just too much money. I was
So-
I was too keen. They did it.
You were Roy Keane,
I
definitely.
was Roy Keane that day, mate.
So it was funny when you messaged like you got through, got the tickets. I was like, great, film a celebration video, and
What
then
video?
I can't remember.
Play
Who
the
messaged,
video.
like, oh, how much was it? To your response, it was a little more than we wanted to pay. The night before, we agreed that we go up to £220.
Wait, when did we? I didn't agree with that.
we all agreed
Well,
with that.
220. Where'd you get that from?
220
Which
quid.
was the package where it was like a ticket and like some
Oh, and a
merch, which is
shirt
like a
for,
key
like-
ring or something.
Yeah, and you just,
Definitely not going to get a shirt, are you? You're going to get like a
yeah.
Yeah.
mustache comb.
And so it came to it's a little more than we wanted to spend. And then one of us was like, how much was it? And it was 2 minutes between you sending the message.
I was trying to dry my palms because they were just.
Oh, my
winging.
palms were as wet as
You were
anything.
trying to ring your
weren't
bank
you?
manager is what you were trying to do.
I was. Yeah, I was checking my overdraft to make sure that.
Felt like Mr. Blobby had deflated. I was just like, oh my God.
But again, you paid it
I
because you
paid it
said, you
'cause
know what?
We had to
I
pay
can-
it.
I had to
Money is
pay
there
it.
to be spent.
My logic was
Fuck it.
you've paid it, you've got it. Wasn't fuck it, it was all fuck. But like I was gutted, and I was when you said I could pay Adam to get one of the cheaper tickets, I was very grateful for that. It was I would have if I was in that situation, I wouldn't have bought the tickets. I can't justify seeing them for
How
that
can you
much.
not? But it's about being the hero. It's about taking that hit, being the champion.
But that's the
This is
pressure
what
selling. That's the pressure
It
selling
is.
thing,
It
right?
is. So if anyone wants to give me whatever it is, X amount % back, like yeah,
But like
go for it.
that's literally like it's more than going to Glastonbury, which is the most expensive festival in the country, and you're going to see like 3 acts and have like 6 days worth of
Yeah.
festival
The music's all shit.
goodness. Well, the music's good, music's bad.
Fleetwood
Like I
Mac.
don't know, like, but like I think that's when it's like it becomes very real. When
Yeah.
you're like, right, this is 360 quid.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
boys,
lot of bloody
boys,
money.
Nebworth.
Well, how much was Nebworth? Like 25 pence, wasn't
Yeah.
it? There's an argument which is like, and I read this about Springsteen, who used to be very much like, price them cheap, no golden circle, like first people in, get down the front, that sort of thing.
Imagine.
But he made the point, which maybe Oasis think it, or maybe they don't. But like, if touts are going to sell it for 350 quid a ticket, we might as well sell it for 350 quid a ticket
Yeah.
and make the money. And like, is that not just like bare economics,
Wait,
right?
were you going to sell your ticket or buy your ticket?
No,
at
that's
that
what I'm saying.
price?
Like Oasis are like, we sell them 150. They're going to go on a secondary ticket website
Yeah.
for 350.
But they don't
we
make that
might,
money.
We might as well just sell them 350,
But-
take the money. Like, why would we give up that profit to some, third party?
But with that logic, the touts are now selling them for $6,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
So are they going
I'll
to
pay
charge
it.
$6,000 next time? 'Cause, well, the touts can make money. It shouldn't be a point of, well, someone's making more money off us. You sell the product for how much it is that you value it. If someone wants to resell it because it's valuable.
But logically, it's like it's how much people are willing to pay. And if some idiot is willing to pay $6,000, then like,
Yeah, but you
well,
pay out of
just because I'm
desperation
not.
to be there. You don't pay because
Yeah, it was
if it was
desperation.
$6,000 on Bruce Springsteen's website, nobody would, like, some people would pay, but not everyone would pay. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen Bruce Springsteen a few times, and
Oh, sorry.
the first 2 times I literally, got them for fairly, like 70 quid or something. But yeah, I got down to the Golden Circle. I went there like 12 hours before, and stayed there from like 7 in the morning to get through for like 12 hours before the gig. And that was fair. And it was like this kind of thing built up around it with like fans, like a fan club kind of thing.
Mm.
And now, and it was like they were charging so much money for it, and like people were like turning away from it. Like they might have paid 360 quid to go see him from a tickets out, but because it was up front, like, well, this is how
Yeah.
much you're going to pay.
Yeah.
Like people wouldn't do that. Like nobody would buy an Oasis ticket if it was $6,000. It was like, but they'll
I
buy
think
it.
some.
I
I
don't know.
think some people would, and I think
Yeah.
if they said 20% of the tickets are 500 quid, I think they would have sold all the tickets personally. With like however many dates are 24 dates, they would have sold. They would have sold them.
When it was exclusive, but now if they do Europe and they do America and they do,
Yeah, but
Australia,
th-
it'd be
it's-
like,
they're
oh,
not announcing that.
We
like,
can just go
even
to
now,
France
right?
and see him for 100 quid.
Yeah.
Like we'll just make it a weekend of it or whatever.
Mm.
Now that's what's going to happen in it. It'd be like, yeah, Germany 60 quid. Yeah, all right, yeah.
I think should we move on to like what is your favorite Oasis song
Yeah, it's
and why?
I can never remember. I always think it's Roll With It, and then it's Don't Look Back in Anger. That's what it is. Yeah, it's Don't Look Back in Anger. That's the one I remember from the car as a kid. That's like, and Noel's voice, like
Mm.
Liam's voice is almost a bit of a novelty.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wonderwall is like you can't ignore that song, but like Noel is that band to me. I think in a strangely twisted way.
I think my favorite has to be Half the World Away. One,
Banger.
'cause it's on one of the best sitcoms of all time.
Yep.
But two, it is so lovely and
Yeah.
homely,
Mm.
and coming from someone who comes from a very small town, like it like really does speak to me.
It's about abortion, isn't it?
It's Noel as well. Come on then, what's
Whatever
yours?
floats your boat, like. I mean, Morning Glory
Banger.
is mega. Like,
I thought you were going
Yes.
to say American Idiot.
like Morning Glory is like amazing. Like, I was working at Glastonbury, and I was behind the stage when Liam Gallagher played there in 2019,
Oh, nice.
and he opened with that, and it was like that, like guitar,
Mm.
and just look, I could see out on the side of the stage, and it was like insane. Like people, again, like Arctic Monkeys, shirtless, flares going.
It's a good gig if people
and
are
it was
getting
just
shirtless.
that intro was like amazing.
Yeah, it's wicked.
And like
isn't it?
Liam Gallagher was like
The energy,
giving it, and like
yeah.
fucking come on,
Yeah,
and it was
nice.
like this is like amazing,
we want.
and that's what I'm looking forward to at Wembley. If it's not that, it's like Supersonic's like amazing.
Yeah.
Like that
Yeah,
song,
yeah, yeah.
Considering that's their first single,
Yeah.
it is like an
It's
amazing
bonkers.
like song. It's just like it's got everything about the guitars, wicked. The vocals are sick. The solo in it's good.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is,
just
yeah.
throughout, it's like amazing. Like, and like single wise, I don't think they have anything that's close to that. It's more kind of, like Beatlesy, or kind of like middle of the roady rock. Whereas that one's got like a bit of like Cigarettes and Alcohol is a bit like corny in a way. I think with like the
I think
Yeah, but it's got that
song.
swagger
It's
in
got
it.
song.
like that get it on.
Yeah, it's
Get
glam.
in,
It's
that
very
kind
glam.
of thing. Whereas Supersonic's got this kind of own thing to it. It's like it's not like punk rock, but it's got like a kind of like snottiness to it.
Yeah.
And that's
That's
what I
what
like
we
about
want.
that.
That's the attitude. Isn't
And then Morning Glory's got that kind of like really like hard rocky thing. So it's those more heavier kind of Oasis things
Yeah.
that I like.
But
about
they
them.
only do that, don't they? They really only do like Stand By Me or Rock and Roll Star. There is no
yeah,
like,
and then
kind of
like
in between.
Champagne Supernova,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those kind of like all around the world. It's like It's I like that, but it's
All
like
around the world.
is that
That's
All
Chili
Around
Peppers,
the
isn't it?
World?
That's Daft Punk, isn't it?
What's that song called? Is that what it's called?
Does it
Like,
say all around the world in it?
I'll have to look that up and put it in. Like,
All right.
Around the world.
We can
isn't it?
make
It's
time.
called Around the World.
oh,
Isn't
is it not all around the world? Am I saying
I
it
think
wrong?
it's Around the World. Isn't
We
it?
should have done our research.
All
for this shit.
around the world.
What band are you talking about?
Yeah. So yeah,
Stand by
that's
me.
mine. Like yeah. What was yours
Corporate
again?
rock.
Oh yeah, yours was and yours is like probably the third best song.
I think the reason I love that, having seen Noel live when he sang that once or twice, it's like it's such a sing along. It's
Yeah.
such a put your arms around the person
Yeah.
next to you and have a bloody good sing along because everything's all right.
Everything's all right.
Everything's
Yeah.
gonna be
Yeah.
all right, and that's
Yeah.
what I really like about it.
Wholesome.
It's really,
Like-
really
lights up.
heartwarming.
blokes
Yeah.
crying like.
And also,
Yeah.
I like the some of the songs you said, the sort of like aggression, the early stuff, and the sort of different vocals they had back then to what they had at the end. But also like that one, I just think is just
Oh.
like
Oh, like
Amazing.
bring back Liam's falsetto. That's one of the things. Stopped after 2 albums. He's just stopped because it's obviously just for whatever reason he just packed it in.
he's bringing it back. Wembley 25.
You better do.
Oh.
You better do. What's that one we had on earlier? Down, 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 down.
Oh, Up in the Air.
Up in the air. He's got to do
That song's
That is a
amazing, yeah.
falsetto master.
I noticed that today as well.
Yeah,
I was
it's
like, it
banging.
sounds so good.
The chance of playing that 0.
Yeah,
Is it though?
he played
First
it
two
this
albums.
year.
Did he? Oh, on
How
yeah,
well
that's
though?
right.
I didn't watch it.
Right, we
But
got to
like,
put that to
yeah,
the
I'm gonna
test.
watch that later,
Yeah,
see how it
definitely.
is. But
Yeah.
oh, here's the thing. So I went and saw Billy Joel the other week, and this is the first time this has ever happened to me at a gig.
Shoot
He
yourself.
started playing it. No, I shit myself at Block Party the other day, which was the first time I shit myself at a gig. It was fine. That was a quick recovery. I cried.
Oh, that's all right.
I literally cried to the song Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. If you listen to it, you're like, why the fuck did you cry here? And it was because I was thinking back to when I lived in Kensington during lockdown
Yeah.
and going to Italian restaurants and hanging out. Being like, this is like the best time of my life.
When we went to Princess Diana's restaurant.
Yeah.
That's brought
Yeah,
everything back
Brilliant
together. That's
restaurant.
right.
Yeah.
Brilliant
Wait,
restaurant.
Literally.
put the picture up of us in Princess Diana's restaurant where we asked the waiter to take a picture.
And then the next song was something else that was mega, and then I cried again.
You're
But
just a
I
wet
think-
boy. Is the original wet boy? That's
Like
you.
the other day, I was listening to Don't Look Back in Anger for the first time in years. Like I've always heard it in the background. And I literally had like goosebumps up my arm remembering when I
Oh,
was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think if I've opened that floodgate, I'm going to be crying when Don't
Mate,
Look Back in Anger
no
comes
joke.
on
That'll
at
be the one. That'll
Wembley.
be the one.
Like
though.
the what, like
That'll be the
Wonderwall,
one.
whatever. But when Don't Look Back in Anger, because it has such a sentimental
Yeah.
back of the
It's
car
very
kid
warm.
feeling.
Well,
to
that's what I mean. I went.
it's got like we're not going to be the only ones.
No,
like that
no.
end bit, the Don't Look Back. That will be the bit that'll
Yeah.
make
Oh,
me like,
right.
well,
I
like,
went for a run with it the other day to try and like. It was the first time I listened to it forever, and yeah, I had exactly the same thing. I was running. I was just like, this
Yeah,
makes me
it's-
feel like I'm 8 years old again. And
yeah,
everything's
it's
right.
yeah links to times of like
Yeah.
like the times when that was on wasn't like the best in my life as a child, but it still has a feeling of
Oh,
a moment and
It
a time,
resonates.
and then maybe that's it. Like it was just, is it the song or is it just the time when you're younger?
I think
Yeah,
that's
Like
why.
is that the same
they're
for an
important.
adult who listened to it at the time, or does it just? Is it that good a song that it has an impactful meaning to anyone who listens
But
to
going
it?
back to what we
Yeah.
said at the start, that is the nostalgia. That's what they're riding in this
Yeah.
entire reunion. Is like whether you're a kid in the back of the car or you're in your 20s and you were out partying
Yeah.
with the song on, like you were there in some way, and now you're living it or reliving it.
But
in
also through
2025.
the Beatles thing, it's like they were making music that was before our time, so we're kind of listening to music that is now past our time, like kind of thing. So yeah, like it felt nostalgic to the Beatles to be like, oh, 60s kind of na 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 na, and then you're like, here we are again. Now that's nostalgic, which is kind of weird to think that music ripping off something from 30 years ago is now it's now ripping off something from 60 years ago.
60 years of hurt.
That's all it's ever been, mate. That's the
Right.
one.
I think we should wrap it up.
I
There
think
at
so,
that
yeah.
point. So,
All right, good chat, boys.
well, that was the first one. So
I think we did pretty well.
I think you did all right. We
Yeah.
covered everything. And on the next one, we'll cover some more.
Yeah,
And
sounds
that's
good.
it. So I've got one joke to end on.
Go on.
What do you call Oasis brothers who were on a pirate ship?
This was my bloody joke, by the way. I told him this joke.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Cheers.
See ya. Wait, what's the punchline then?
Never tell him.